Basil Wolverton was one of the earliest creators of new material for the new comic book market. He lived in Vancouver, Washington, and was one of the very few comic book artists who didn't live in New York. Working totally through the mail, Wolverton took his sci-fi strip concepts and turned them into Space Hawk and Space Patrol and Meteor Martin. Unfamiliar comic companies like Centaur and Novelty produced anthology comic titles in the 30s and 40s. Space Hawk appeared in Circus Comics in 1938, with a reincarnation at Novelty's Target Comics in 1941-42. Always a comedian, Wolverton had toyed with vaudeville and radio in his younger days. Taking his unique brand of alliterative, punny humor, he got in touch with another comic book company, Timely, later to be called Marvel Comics, and created one of his most endearing characters, Powerhouse Pepper. Powerhouse was a bald little runt in a striped turtleneck who could outmuscle Popeye. The strips were laden with silly signs and wacky dialogue that are the obvious inspiration for much of the tomfoolery in which Kurtzman and Elder were to indulge a decade later at Mad. Throughout the 40s, he created and illustrated a cadre of weirdos that peppered the pages of practically all the timely humor and teen titles. Indicative of things to come was the occasional side-by-side appearance of a Wolverton and a Kurtzman contribution. Harvey Kurtzman's most famous pre-Mad creation was Hey Look, also for Timely. Also during the 40s, Wolverton worked for Fawcett and Gleason, two of the larger comic producers, doing strips with silly titles like Bing Bang Buster, Scoop Scuttle, Mystic Boot, etc. It was in 1946 that Basil got his greatest publicity break when he won the Lena the Hyena contest. His drawing of Lena marked the origin of a new school of art, the Spaghetti and Meatball School of Design. It'd be nice to say that his career suddenly took off, but the printed evidence shows continual contributions to the same customers. What did change, though, was the comic book market. Horror became a fast-selling genre, and who but Basil Wolverton was better to depict true horror? Oddly enough, no matter how horrible his panels were, there was always such an element of the absurd present that they never went totally overboard. Spaghetti and meatballs are somehow intrinsically non-threatening,